Okay guys, this one's a completely different project, not automotive related, though it does have one wheel, so maybe we can call it a mode of transportation. We've got a special central vac system in our house where the hose sucks into the wall inside the pipe, which means we don't have a power head. So the power head we use for the end of the vacuum is one of those vacuum actuated one, and it absolutely sucks. So my wife's asked for a 120 volt power head. It's $600 for that vacuum. So instead of doing that, what I've done is taken an old Kenmore vacuum cleaner. I'm gonna cut it in half. And so the plan right now is to cut the back half off of this, the bottom half, move a bunch of this actually up front, and snake the vacuum pipe into it so that I'm gonna end up with a little canister about this size where we can plug the regular central vac into it and then plug this into the wall and use the 120 volt power head. So I just don't need this big bulky thing. I don't need the bag and stuff that's inside of it. So right now I'm just disassembling it and I'll show you the next steps. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you that sometimes my plans don't work out at all either. I cut this vacuum cleaner in half. I was only going to use the top section of this, and I was just going to slip a metal plate in here. And my plan was to originally move up the extension cord piece into this section. Would have worked until my wife said she didn't want all of that. She didn't want it to retract. So I'll show you what I did find and what we're going to do. So this is a great piece, and we're going to hang on to this piece because I got plans to put some 12 volt little alligator clips on this and wind it up and put it in our electronics cabinet. So instead of winding up our cord all the time, we're going to use this little reel. It's a great little light duty reel for that. So we're going to keep that piece. The other thing I found in here when I tore the vacuum apart was a relay. And it turns out we don't need this relay at all. All this relay is for is it's hooked to this plug inside the vacuum. All this relay is for is so that when the power goes up to the switch, it comes back down. It triggers the relay, which turns on the vacuum motor. So we don't need this. Literally by putting positive and negative 120 volts up through the vacuum power head and turning on the switch, everything works fine. So this is what we've ended up with. All we need is we're going to use this plug on the end. We're going to wire 120 volts to this, to an extension cord. And this pipe, which is a curtain rod, is the perfect dimension for the VacFlo system. That's going to be mated inside of here with about 1.5 inches sticking out. And the VacFlo system will just clip on here, on the end here, and this extension cord will plug into the wall. And we're going to shrink wrap this whole thing and glue it all up so it's nice and strong. But that's basically the whole solution. So after taking the whole vacuum cleaner apart, all we're going to use is this pigtail, the extension cord from the vacuum, and a piece of curtain rod. So I'll show you what that looks like shortly. Okay guys, this is where we ended up. We just took everything out of the vacuum. I did rewire the switch, just so you know, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is the piece out of the vacuum cleaner. I actually flipped it upside down because it's actually tapered or moves a different way. This is actually a curtain rod, a piece of curtain rod that fits in here. All I did was wrap some electrical tape around the end to make it the right thickness, slide it down in there, give it a little tap, and then put some epoxy to fill the space. This is put on upside down, which meant I had to change the wiring on the switch as well. But I flipped it upside down, glued it, and taped it in here. So this gets us our 120 volts from the wall. Our VacFlo just slips on top of this. And then I rewired this switch. This is a multi-pole switch. We don't need a multi-pole switch. All we need to do is turn on the power head. The way it was set up before is it would actually turn on the vacuum cleaner by back feeding power to a relay. Don't need any of that. So you can just rewire this quickly if you flip it over here. But basically, you can pick up these vacuum cleaners for $5 at a thrift store, and you can make your own attachment for your VacFlo instead of a $500 unit.